Good.
The Grand Strand campus is 477
Right.
0808.
Okay, great.
And the Georgetown campus is 546
Right.
8406.
And of course, viewers can call because your continuing education numbers are so astronomical. It was amazing when I saw reading some facts and figures about the Century Club, just on some ideas of raising funds, folks in the
Right.
community, that the full-time credit student numbers are around 51, 52. They may even be higher than that this fall, 100. And that the continuing education numbers were in the tens of thousands.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
14
credit numbers are up to almost 5,800.
Wow.
And the non-credit numbers fluctuate between 12 and 15,000 students per year.
You know, to have that many flowing through the campus on the, and they're at locations, of course, they're in Georgetown, they're here, they're at the Conway campus, or they're in other locations as well?
And they can be in other locations. We also have a partnership with Fortune Real Estate, so all that training goes through us and flows through us. So we will do the training anywhere we need to do it. It's customized. It can be done on a business site or a manufacturing site, so we are all over the two counties.
Of course, that HGTC.edu has so much tremendous information online. You really viewers need to go to the library. They can even come to this library. Go to a library, find a good library to utilize, to go online to learn more about the incredible number of continuing education opportunities, if not thinking about being a full-time student.
That's correct. All of our libraries have computers, and they're all three of our libraries on all three of our campuses are open to the public. The Conway Library is even open up for 2 or 3 hours on Saturday, so the public are welcome to come and access our libraries and access our computer systems.
Okay, that's great. Conway, 347-3186, here on the Grand Strand campus, 477-0808, and of course the Georgetown campus, 546-8406, both for regular student or for full-time students or even part-time students, as well as
continuing ed students.
That's great. That's great. You know, you think about all the activities going on in the two counties, and of course to see you, Neil, on a basis, how do you spend time traveling around and of course still meeting with folks, as you highlighted, with the state, with the budget cuts happening? Obviously you have to turn to the private community to help supplement some of the potential impact, the lack of supply of dollars from the state or even the county or other places. How do you spend your day?
Well, fortunately, I have an outstanding staff. I think probably my executive staff would be as good as any two-year college in this state. So I can leave knowing that the campuses are being run efficiently and appropriately. And so what I do is I try to plan out my week through my secretary, and she sort of points her finger and says, you got to be here at this time and there at this time. And it is kind of confusing at times. But I love the interaction and the fact that you get to meet a lot of people. I do miss the fact that I don't necessarily see students as often as I'd like to see them.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to do better this year. That's sort of one of my resolutions, to try to get out and spend more time with our students. But we'll pull a lot of different directions because we're expected to be in Columbia. We're expected to deal with our delegations. We're expected to be on several committees that would deal with workforce development. So it's very time consuming.
Oftentimes there's also interaction with the counties of Horry and Georgetown as well. You know, on that sign outside of the Dr. Spear Healthcare Center, you see between a partnership of the Myrtle Beach Air Base Redevelopment Authority, between Horry County and obviously private citizens.
Yeah, Horry County came through with some bond money for us to help us with that building. The Myrtle Beach Redevelopment Authority gave us significant dollars.
Oh yeah.
That's how we raise them. The thing about that facility is there is not any state dollars in that facility.
Is that right?
Not zero state dollars. Now they will help us maintain the buildings over the years, but there's no state dollars right now.
That is tremendous.
Yeah.
That is.
Well, I guess that's good. I would like to have some help from them, but the fact that we were able to go out and raise this kind of money in a relatively small community, to me, is amazing, and I think says a lot about what they feel about this institution and its effect on the workforce.
One of the other tremendous things, it's a lot easier to go to them to ask for some support for the building after they haven't been involved in making it happen. Right. After they weren't capable of being involved, either from financial strain or otherwise, to be able to go to them and say, well, now that we've paid for it, can you help us, as you said, maintain it or maybe add to it when there's a next edition or some other. It is a magnificent facility, of course, with the American Red Cross. It's Horry-Georgetown and Williamsburg County location. Its main branch is right there next door. To have, I'm sure there'll be a great symbiotic relationship there.
There will be, and we're hoping one day that they'll want to move and we can buy their existing facility and expand on that site, because recognizing that healthcare is going to be an industry that we need to continue to provide workforce for. As I said earlier, it's one of our better paying jobs in terms of our 2-year graduates. Almost 80% of first responders, that would be your police, your EMT, and those types of people, firemen, are coming out of 2-year college programs. So you will continue to see that in the future. So it's very important that we have a facility and have the capacity to do the training for these kinds of jobs that are coming up.
Right. Neyle, a few minutes ago you talked about spending more time with students and that being one of your resolutions. That was not necessarily being in the classroom, but instead just being out on the campuses.
Going to our canteen, walking out on the campus, just talk to them. I need to get to more of our allied health pinning ceremonies. I try to get to as many of those as I can. They're very heartwarming, and of course you've been to our foundation when we do our appreciation luncheon to see how much these young men and women appreciate what's being done, and some of the stories of sacrifice that our students go through, because they are non-traditional students. Our average age is 26 years old. We are predominantly female. You get into some of our programs, for example, like our nursing program, our average student age is 31 years old. And when you're 26 and 31 years old, you have a set of living responsibilities and financial concerns that often 18-year-old students don't have.
Right.
And so they're considered non-traditional students. So many of these women have children, and I don't think they have a minute downtown at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Wow. So how they study and do what they do in very difficult subject matters is amazing to me.
That is.
And we hear those testimonies at these pinnings, and it's just amazing.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah. We've seen those, and to meet some of your students down on the Georgetown campus, the folks that are active in the nursing program down there, the women and men who are involved in that program, and to know that there's going to be such a tremendous presence here, it's amazing.
And we were 85. Our student body is 85% Horry-Georgetown students.
Is it that large?
The thing that's great about the 2 counties that we serve is that the people that are born here, for the most part, would like to stay here. And if you can provide them with good paying jobs, they will stay here, and your attrition becomes almost insignificant. So that's one of the things that the hospitals are so pleased about. They're able to hire Horry and Georgetown County students and not go to Canada and other places where they were having to go several years ago to find registered nurses. And so their attrition rates are down.
That is tremendous.
And that's saving them money, and ultimately that saves all of us money.
Absolutely. And the folks who already have a presence here, not that they should take less money, but they already know the community, and they know where they're situated oftentimes. They know the best places to live. They know the places closest to the hospital to live. They don't have to take as much time moving into a community and get ramped up.
And often they know the patients.
Right. Great point. Great point. You know, you think about, of course, some of the big, just being in the classroom, I want to ask that. Of course, having gotten your master's in education there, I think it was in '76, so a little more than 30 years ago. Had you had that love when you came here, of course, just thinking it would be a couple of years? Did you end up staying in the classroom a good while, or did you move into administration?
Well, I began in '70, and I stayed in the classroom till about '75.
Okay.
And then I became the evening director.
Right.
And then the continuing ed. Then I was VP for academic affairs. Then I was VP for business. Then I was executive VP. I sold books. I did about everything there. And I just finally outlived everybody else and finally said, what are we going to do to Wilson? And gave me the presidency. So
I love it. I love it. Well, of course, we saw Kent Sharples, who had been here, I think I remember, was it the early 80s until
Kent came
99?
I think Kent came in '81.
Right.
He was there 19 years.
Right.
And stayed. He came prior to '81. Then, but anyway, I came in
'99. Right.
He was here about 19 years.
Right.
He's at Daytona Community College. He's a president.
Is that right? Is he a good boss?
Yeah, great boss.
Yeah.
Did a great job here, and is doing a super job in Florida as well.
Yes. When you think about commitments and contacts like that, and to see a almost 20-year tenure, you're contemplating, obviously you've been here a good while, you know the campus as well as anybody. There's probably not a nook or cranny, as you said, having sold books and done it all, probably not an area you don't know.
There's not, if there are, I don't think so. I will, in terms of retirement, which I guess is the direction you're trying to take me, I think probably in the next 3 years.
Well, no, I wasn't going
okay,
there.
Okay, well, anyway, I'm going to tell you.
We've got a little more time.
Everybody keeps asking me, when are you going to retire? You've been there longer than the school almost. Probably in 3 years. I want to get Elizabeth through school.
Great.
And if Alec goes on to graduate school, I'll need to help him out, and then we'll probably probably ready to do something different.
That really keeps you focused on students in a way that a lot of college presidents or others can't, where you have students who are actually in college, even if they're at Coastal Carolina University or in graduate school or in law school. Really a great way to bond with the students here locally, particularly as your children get older and are, as you said, the average age here at 26 and the average age in the nursing program at 31. You're really able to bond with those students.
Yeah, and you know, your students, I mean, your kids humble you too, because issues that you hear about students in your own school all of a sudden become issues for your children. And when they, all of a sudden the issue that was not a big deal when it was somebody else's child or another student becomes a big issue to you, so it makes you more empathetic about what goes on in the lives of students and how often they get confused and can't find the answers or can't get someone to give them an answer. So,
absolutely,
which is all about the service, which is where we have a lot of pride, and hopefully we do a better job of that than other institutions.
Well, we want to talk about service. We want to talk more about Horry-Georgetown and the communities here, and obviously about the foundation and the tremendous work in the community of the foundation. Would you be willing to come back? We've run out of time. Spend a little more time with us tomorrow morning?
Be glad to.
Tremendous.
Thank
you. Stay tuned a little more with the president of Horry-Georgetown Technical College, Neyle Wilson, coming up next. Can you think of a better opportunity for area businesses than to turn to Horry-Georgetown Technical College? Can you think of a better one? I can't come up with one as you sit here with President Wilson, and we're thankful to be able to get him back tomorrow. But think about that: 85% of the head count here on the college campus, Horry and Georgetown County natives. 85%. Think of that impact for area business, whether it's hospitals, whether it's law firms, whether it's massage therapy locations, just think about it, the list goes on and on. The opportunity to have folks who already know the area, who, as you heard Neyle mention, can communicate with patients oftentimes because they grew up around those family members. It's a real opportunity. Think about your local college. Think about your local college when you think about either attending or for your children or grandchildren, or possibly look to that same college to help support some of their tremendous programs. They're trying to grow. They need support. They need private support. They need public support. Call your legislator and say, please help Horry-Georgetown Technical College. Learn more about the college online at hgtc.edu, hgtc.edu. You heard Neyle say it, the libraries here in Conway and Georgetown are open to the public, and even the Conway campus open on Saturdays. Take the time to learn more about the college. Go online. Neyle Wilson, thanks so much for being with us this morning.